Welcome to another edition of Luminar Coffee Break. I'm your host, Vanelli. Now, our topic today is what's new with the newest version of Luminar 4.3. And it's a free update. And just out of curiosity, how many of you actually updated this morning or this afternoon? Let me know in the comments. Hello, Big Mac from Japan. It's great to see a lot of people coming here from overseas. So right when we went on air, my Luminar updated, and it was so funny because people were asking, well, when does it get rolled out? Remember, it's worldwide, so they roll them out in increments, so it doesn't tax too much of the server. But the new version is out, and we're going to talk about what are some of the coolest new features and how it's going to make our lives as photographers easier. Now, before we begin, let's take a moment and thank our partner Fujifilm for helping make these episodes possible. Fuji reminds us, stay safe, stay creative, and stay at home. All right, and we're back, guys. All right, let's dive right in. So here's a little slideshow presentation we'll go through. And I just hit one moment. Good, so I'm noticing a lot of people have been updating it from Rome, from the UK. Let's see, that's awesome. All right, and here we go. Oh, and it did it again. Interesting. So let's see. What I'm going to do, guys, this is interesting that I'm using, let's see if this is it. Yep, it's doing it still. So you know what I'm going to do is instead of going full screen, I'm wondering why my iCloud is not. So let's try this one more time. I'm going to, and good people haven't done it yet. Cannot update, computer is in the shop. Sorry, Norm. All right, guys. I apologize for the late start on this. Let's see if this fixes it. For whatever reason, Keynote was working phenomenal this morning, so I'm not quite sure why Keynote decided not to. Yep. So this is what I'm going to do, everyone. Let me take you through the individual slides, and I apologize that it's not full. So here we are. What's new in Luminar 4.3? So these are the new features that are coming out. It's going to open up faster with RAW files. The 500px is integrated, and you've heard me talk about this before, how if you want to upload your images through SmugMug or 500px for people to see, you'll be able to upload those now from inside Luminar. Better looks experience and the reset adjustment button, which I love. Optimized for the crop workflow and faster access. The AI Augmented Sky improvements, custom skies and sky options, camera support, better Magic Mouse workflow for Mac, and of course for the local brush for the history tool, or local brush history for Windows. And I'm going to try it one more while we're doing that. So while that's doing that part, what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk through some of what we just talked about with the RAW file. Now, if you noticed, there's also a new feature called Search. Now, it's not as robust as we want it yet, but it's here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for NEF files. And once I find them, I'll click on it, and now it's going to give me a list over here in the recent search history of the NEF files. So for the search, I'm able to search on file name, file extension, and the keywords aren't there yet. And I'm also able to search on dates. So right now, it's there. It's good for the basic stuff, but it's not full-blown yet, all right? But I'm glad it's there. So we'll go here. Now I'm going to double click on a RAW file, and we'll work on editing it. Now keep in mind that you can have JPEGs and RAW files right next to each other in Luminar. And the looks or the light tool is the main tool that works with RAW files, but it also works with JPEGs too. The difference is if it's a RAW file, now you have camera profiles that you're able to pull more information out of that RAW file. So RAW files are so much better to work with. And like I said, you'll be able to pull more information from them, and you'll be able to start loading camera profiles with it. All right? So that's the RAW file. Okay, good. Let's see if it worked. All right, perfect. We're on. Finally. All right. So faster opening of the RAW files, they said. And now the 500px integration. So with the 500px, again, you're able to upload your images to your 500px account. Currently, you can only upload one image at a time. So if I'm here, I can come under 500px and also SmugMug, and then I'm able to upload one of the images to that account. So what's the big deal about 500px or SmugMug? It's just another way for you to put your images online and to share them, with others. Or if you, let's say you did a family event and you don't want to, make a Dropbox, or let's say if you're still doing CDs or DVDs or even thumb drives, you want your family members to get them on their own. That's where SmugMug and 500px come in. So once you launch it, it'll ask you to log in. If you don't have an account, you can just click on the bottom and sign it up. All right? So here we go. And this we're really, really going to love. Better looks experiences and the reset adjustment button. Yes. What this is going to do for us, it's going to help us hover over the looks and make it streamlined. So let me show you my example. Let me cancel out of here. And Mario, to answer your question, yes, we can. All right, so let's do favorites. I'm just going to grab this one here. All right, so now in the past, with the looks, you'd have to click on the look to apply it. Well, now you just hover over the look, and notice it's automatically changing for you. So you don't need to click on it and actually apply. If I click on it, now it'll apply all those tools to this particular look. If I don't like it, instead of coming to the history tool and restarting or refreshing everything, now we have a reset adjustment. And there it is. So this is really good if you're in a hurry. Ooh, look at that. I like that. If you're in a hurry and you want to see, let me get this out of there. If you're in a hurry, you want to see what the looks are doing before you commit to it, you just come over, hover over it, and then just select one. I like the black and white. And if you don't like it, come back over, and here's your reset. All right. Optimizing crop workflow and faster access. This was something we did earlier in the week. Let's see if I still have it. I'm going to come to single image edit. Yep, here we are. And what I want to do here is adjustment and revert to original. So here was the original image that we started with. And yes, Tommy, you're right. The software is moving a lot faster, and I'll talk about that in a moment. So here's the image that we were working with. Now, when I come over to the canvas tools, here's crop and rotate. Now it's on the bottom, it's not up here. And what's neat about this is, do you remember I kept getting like, where is it, a 4x3 or a 4x5, for example, or a 5x4? Well, now I don't have to be concerned if it's a 4x5 or a 5x4. If I look at this and it's in portrait mode, well then from here, I just click and now it's in landscape mode. So what they just did was they took that crop tool and just organized it all better for us and made it easier, for us to do things with the tool itself. Now, we were doing this earlier this week. I've always had a hard time cropping this particular image. So I wanted to get rid of the sign. There we go. And again, everything is non-destructive. So we can always go back to this and recrop. If I click on the crop tool again, and I have the full image. So we're always able to go back and do that. And you know what, while we're here, ooh, look at that, I like it. I will go with that. All right, just finishing it off. All right, so that's the crop tool. And again, they basically gave us a really cool, or organized it really cool for us, so we have everything in one spot. All right. AI Augmented Sky improvements. All right, this is where a lot of you are really going to like working with this. Now you're able to not only use the Augmented Skies that came with, or the tools that came with Luminar, but you also have the ability to add your own, and you're also able to flip the sky now. So let's get back to here. And we'll go to my favorites. All right. So one of my ultimate favorite ones, here we go, is this right here. All right. So I love this. I wish I took the photo. I love this image. Let's come down to the creative tools. And now here, we're not going to replace the sky. We're going to do AI Augmented Sky. They were talking about the newest one they just added was down here, which is the space shuttle. For this particular image, I mean, putting a space shuttle in it like this doesn't do a whole lot to it, unless you want to make like a futuristic, old school or old areas with new technology. That's entirely up to you, but I still love doing the birds. Look at this. I just love adding that in here. Now, what you can do is I can place them, make them a little bit bigger if I want, or smaller. And now what the newest feature that they added to this is down here, where you can flip the object and have it go in the opposite direction. All right? So, let's see. Yes. So Norm asked a good question. Let me hide my view here. And guys, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to bomb through this for you quick and then come back and answer the questions. But Norm is asking, does a crop tool work on every layer or just on the base layer? Just on that base layer. All right, just on the base layer. Good, let's see. If you get issues using Photoshop or Lightroom, just uninstall the plug. Yep, and reboot and reinstall it just fine. Thank you. And I got to remind me, Heath, a little tip I've learned using Windows when it comes to that. All right? So with the Augmented Skies, what's really neat about this too is if you notice, I can show my custom skies folder. Now, I don't have anything in here right now, but I'm going to show you when we do AI sky replacement. Look, boom, it's right there also. Now I can add my own skies, where we could be four, but one at a time. So if you wanted a new sky, we would come down here and we would load a sky, find it, and then bring it in. Well, now what's really neat for both AI sky replacement and AI augmented skies is your skies will be right in the very beginning. So if I show the skies folder here, and let's say I delete one. Well, I'll make it easier. Let's say we delete all of these. And now I'm left with 2, 4, 5. Now I'm left with 5 of them. When I come back, right in here, it'll refresh it just to those 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so it's neat now. Now, for this one, it's not going to look as nice. I already love this sky. But what's neat about this is you can have your own skies now and not have to keep going out, reload a new sky, bring it back in. One thing, yes, I do wish we had still, is this what I would do here, extra large. I would rename my skies that I'm bringing in. In fact, I think I showed you this earlier, what I did. After a while, let's see, we're on our C drive, under my program, under my photography, I put assets, and here's where I put my skies. Well, I can come in here, and let's say I select all of these, copy, and I can paste them into here, and now I have all these skies. I wouldn't put too many in, because again, if you were to put like 30 or 40 skies in, it's going to slow the system down. So what I'd recommend is put your favorite skies in, and now you come back over here and let it refresh. There it goes. And once it refreshes, then you have your custom skies. So ooh, I like that a lot. I'm sorry, everyone. Let me just do one thing real quick. Let's flip that back. Oh, I like that. So with that being said, you can start putting your own skies in to the actual program, and then you can have like your favorite ones, and then from there, you'll be able to add them to any of your images. The one wish list I still have, and they're trying to work this out, I'm sure, is that when we hover over one of these, I wish it would do the same thing the looks did, but I understand that this is hardcore technology, and I guess it's pretty intensive on the system. So I'd rather it be faster on my machine, and if I had to, I'll just click on Custom Sky, see what the sky looks like. Oh, I like this one, and realize, okay, it's 318. Come back over here. Oh, those are what we had. Add 318 to the image. All right? And then we talked about the custom skies and the objects that we're able to add in. And now for the camera support, these are the newest of the cameras that they've added support for. If you have a camera that's not on the list, the only suggestion I'd recommend is to convert it to a DNG, and then it'll be able to read it. And it's not just Luminar, but if that happens with Lightroom or for Photoshop, same thing. Convert it to a DNG until the camera manufacturers give the software company the raw files. New masking brush workflow. All right, how many portrait photographers do we have out here? Let me know. The portrait photographers are going to absolutely love this. Here, let's work with her. Okay. Come down. First thing I want to do is get rid of the blemishes. And then let's smooth the skin out. There we go. And get rid of some of the shine. All right. So that looks great. Well, let's say, actually, I am so sorry. That particular image doesn't have a background that I wanted to show you. Which is the one that would be a better choice? Let's do, let's see. You know what? I'm coming to this one here. All right. So we'll use this one here, and the reason why I wanted to use this one is because of the background. I wanted something that has like texture, like this, for example. So let's do a real quick edit with her. Make her eyes look beautiful. And with the dark circles. Good. Now, we have it all set here. Here's where that brush comes in. I'm going to come up here to, let's say, AI structure. And now if I added structure, look at this. to the entire scene. Let's say I only want the structure on her hair. I don't want it on the leaves. This is where I can click on Edit Mask, and then Brush. I want to erase the effect at 100% opacity. I just want it on her hair. So, in fact, you know what we'll do? Let's just paint it on her hair. All right? So now, when I start to paint, ready? As soon as I let go, it automatically applies the effect. Whereas before, do you remember how we had to click Done to see if we liked what it looks like? Well, now, with the way the new masking is, I could just come in here, I can apply the effect, and let it show me what it's actually looking like in real time. I can still click on the visibility icon to see where my mask is, but once I let go, it's already adding it. Here's before and after. I mean, how cool is that? So they did a lot of work with this mask, with the mask, so we could see in real time what the mask is actually doing. All right? And if you're a Apple user, better Magic Mouse workflow. I'm just going to make using Luminar with the Magic Mouse or on your Magic Trackpad and on the touchpads even more comfortable. The swiping functions now work. In the library mode, users should use the left and right arrows on the touchpad when in edit mode. And then for us window users, they've added a one-step undo with the brush. So if you found yourself sometimes going through and you make a, especially on this drawing, let me show you this, especially on this Windows Surface Pro, Surface Studio, if I touch my hand on it first, the pen actually gets a starting point, and all of a sudden I have this huge line, a stroke goes across it, and it's frustrating. Well, now, if I press Control Z or Command Z, I can erase that last stroke and continue on. All right? So, we got that set. Let me pull it back up here. My buddy here. All right, yes, I agree. So that's it right here with the new updates. So for this particular update, what's really cool is they focused a lot more on speed and doing more comfortable things that are going to help our workflow a little bit better. So with the original version 4, then we went to 4.2 to 4.3, when 0.2 came out, we added Augmented Skies and all these really cool effects. Now they went back and said, okay, let's streamline this and make it a lot faster. And a lot of you have already noticed that. If you have a really beefed up machine, you'll notice some improvements with the speed. If you have a really slow machine like this Mac here, then you're definitely going to see a huge improvement on opening the raw files and working with them. This machine here is kind of in the middle. If it had a dedicated desktop graphics card, this machine would be flawless. But right now, I believe it's running a laptop type of version of the graphics card. So it still does phenomenal, but it's not as fast as some of my other machines that I have. So this is where I've noticed the most increase in my speed, other than the Mac here. So I love that they're focusing on speed and improvements, because in the next update, I can only imagine what they have planned for us. All right? So, awesome, guys. Let's check. Yes, so Russ was talking about, can make the thumbnails in the sky. That was another option that I put on the list. And now keep in mind, guys, keep in mind, one second. Okay, so keep in mind that with the tips and ideas that you have for them, if you voice it politely, of course, and very exciting, hey, we like to see this in it, the engineers listen to our request. So if it's coming from me, it's one thing. If it's coming from our members, it's something totally different. And they love hearing from our members. But again, the main key, which I love our community right now, it's very respectful. And well, the engineers, think of all the hard work they put into this. So when someone complains, like I used to, about the brush not being set to the default, like I use a brush, can't we make it go back to the default? That didn't make the top priority of the list. What did make the list was the portrait tools. So if I had a choice between a default brush and the new portrait tools, I'll go with the portrait tools. So again, they love hearing it, and you can leave them in the comments below. Now, one thing I do want to show you, because my buddy brought it up and said, if you're having an issue, which I did live with Rich Harrington, I couldn't get Photoshop plugin to work. I'm going to show you a little trick. So here we are, File, Install Plugins, and here we are, they're installed, right? Well, if I click uninstall, it'll tell me I need to have admin rights to do this. And typically I'd hit OK, and then, well, we'll do it. I'll go OK, it logs me out. Oh, they did it, awesome. Let's see. Guess what, guys? I have to get a hold of tech support and the engineers. If they did what I think they did, yes. I'll solve this in a little bit. So what they did do, thank you guys so much. The little tip I wanted to show you guys, I don't need to show you anymore because they automatically fixed it. So if I come down here to install plugins now I can install it or install it. All right. So the tip I was going to show you, and some of you have seen me do this before, is you right click on Luminar and say run as admin. So engineers, thank you so much. I'm going to get a hold of them and send a little thank you on that. But that was just one of those little things that Windows is kind of a pain in the neck to program in. And these guys are doing a phenomenal job. This is proof that they do listen to us. So if, like you said, if your plugin for Photoshop is not working, uninstall it, reinstall it, and then your Photoshop plugin will work fine. All right? I know I'm all excited over something little like that, mainly because, again, we've asked about it, and they put it on the list, so it's kind of cool to see that they checked it off. All right? Awesome. Let's see. And my buddy Norm, what did you... on updates to Luminar, will it erase my custom skies? Nope, it will not. It will not erase your custom skies. Keep in mind, everything is safe on your machine. Looking at it this way, here we go. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek under my hood. Let me just make sure I clear everything up a little bit. And C drive, and I'll show you guys in just one moment. Program files. And again, this is on Windows. All right, and Skylum. Now, here we are. So notice I have Luminar 4, and I also have, well, for me, they gave me the pre-release is here. So now when I update, it's going to replace this one for me. But here's what's really cool. Right here is the most important. I could run, there it is, I could run multiple versions of Luminar. However, it's best, if you can, stick with, let's say if we upgraded to 4.0 and so on, we make sure that we upgrade, let the system upgrade us so everything's running really, really smooth. That's number one. The second thing is this right here, to answer the question about will it replace or overwrite any of your skies or your catalog. The most important part of your catalog is right here, all right? That is your catalog. And a catalog is going to store information like where the files are located on your hard drive. What changes have you made to them? What are any of the star ratings or colors that you added as a flag to that image? These folders here and it makes an automatic backup each time for you. If I had to, I could just take this file, put it on my external hard drive, along with the images that belong to that catalog, go to my buddy's house, plug it into his computer. He has Luminar, I fire it up, and from that hard drive, I could run that catalog, and it's going to be as if I never left my home. Think of it like a Word document. As long as I have Microsoft Word on my computer, you could bring your files over a Word document and use my computer to edit them. If I don't have Word, then you're going to have to bring the entire Word program and install it onto my machine. So with Luminar, it's really cool that that file right there, that is the file we want to make sure we take care of and we back up. So for yourself, it's not going to overwrite that file, so you're fine. The key is, if you're worried, just copy that, put it into another, just copy it and put it into a backup folder, and then let Luminar run, install, do its thing if you're worried about it. But like I said, you have all the built-in backups there. All right? Well, that's great, and I think we answered most of them. In fact, we answered them all. Great. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and let me know some of your personal feelings on the speed and those little hidden nuggets like you just saw me find right there that they've added. I can't wait to see when I start putting into a full-flown workflow how it's going to respond. Well, I'm Vanelli. Thanks so much for watching. And by the way, every Wednesday at 5:30 Eastern Time, Angela and myself will have a happy hour after the last Luminar class. So at 5:30 on every Wednesday for the next 6 weeks, we're going to be hosting to where you chime in with live chats, live video, and you ask us any questions you want pertaining to photography and editing images. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks again, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.